In the previous clip, we learned how to create a system to assemble a robot in the VR. In this clip, we want to create a simple UGV robot with several actions such as movement and grabbing object. Alright, in this step we want to create a simple UGV with several actions such as movement, rotation, and mechanical arm to grab and release an object. Before doing that and start this scripting, I want to talk about something very important in the Quest development. In the Oculus development, we need to know that the left controller it's called primary and the right controller it's called secondary. The process of the axis and angles of joysticks is called thumbstick vertical for up and down and thumbstick horizontal for right and left. I want to use the right joysticks, right controller's joystick for movement, thumbstick horizontal for rotation, turn right, turn left, and thumbstick vertical up for go forward, down for backward. Okay, come back to the editor. It is our simple UGV. I've created a simple UGV movement C# script and drag and drop to the simple UGV. And in here, we have two variables. First, public float rotation velocity and public float movement velocity. For the rotation, I said transform.rotate inside of parentheses 0 for parameter x, and this is the value of the thumbstick horizontal of secondary joystick. So input.getAxis Oculus underline cross-platform underline secondary thumbstick horizontal and plus rotation velocity, comma 0. 0 is equal for z. In fact, this parameter is while you want to rotate your UGV in Y angle. Before that, we need to know our UGV must be like this. The forward of UGV must be in the angle of Z, and the rotation will be the angle of Y. Perfect. Another thing we need to know is in the edit, the project settings, in the input manager, we need to have all these parameters in here. They are the inputs variable of joysticks, buttons, and controllers, and joysticks for each controller. For example, it is that. However, once you import your Oculus SDK integration to your project, it has been done automatically, and you don't need to do this process manually. But it's better to check it out if you don't have. If you don't have them, you have to do creating process for these buttons or joysticks. Okay, so it's important then the name of them is must be exactly the same with your script. If you can see here, Oculus cross-platform secondary thumbstick horizontal, you have to write exactly the same here. For the movement, because the movement of our UGV is equal, and the forward is equal Z, so we need to go forward or backward. So we don't need to move in X and Y. So we will say transform dot translate equal X equal 0, Y equal 0, and Z equal thumbstick vertical of secondary in this image. Up vertical, the plus number for forward, minus numbers for backward. It is the same for thumbstick horizontal, right, the plus numbers for turn right, minus numbers for turn left. Okay, and they will accent and to the movement velocity in here as well. Okay, we can test them and test these actions inside of our quest. But before our test, I want to do something cool to be much more realistic. I want to add a simple camera as a front camera. I want to change it to 0.501 and put it exactly here. Perfect. 0, 0, 0. It's more accurate. Now I want to go here and I create a simple folder. A simple folder in here and textures. Inside of textures, I create a render texture and I say UGV view. Okay. Now I want to add this UGV view render texture to target texture. However, I need to increase the resolution for more quality. Okay, now I want to see that things my UGV can see. Okay, but where? From the 3D warehouse, I've downloaded a new 3D model. It's called monitor. It's as you can see, it is 3 monitors joined together. I want to create a simple monitoring system on my table. We have 3 screens. First, it is the front camera. The second will be the essential variables of my UGV. And third will be for mechanical arms of my UGV. Okay, let's to make the uh, right LCD, right screen. Drag and drop my UGV view inside of that. And I will see the view of UGV here. Let's rotate it for better understanding. Perfect. It works well. Okay. And for the center screen, I want to create a simple material center screen. And I change it to black. and drag and drop in here. Okay. Now let's add some text meshes to it. 3D texts. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now I put it here. Okay. And I call it heading and another one for position. Perfect. Now let's add two parameters to my script. I say public text mesh. Come on. Heading text and copy in here position text. Okay, and I want to do something cool. Heading text equal heading plus transform dot local Euler angles dot y. Perfect. The second one will be the same but with another parameters. Position position x equal position dot x plus the same method for position z, because our UGB label moves only in position x and z. Perfect. Okay, let's add these parameters, heading and position. Let's remove hello world from them. Perfect. Great. It works well. Let's change. Bravo. It is great. Perfect. Now I want to add my final action to my UGB. I've made a simple mechanical arm and I added as a child of my UGB. It's called mechanical arm. As you can see, it is a simple position here. I change it to 0. Perfect. It will be something like this. But only in X parameter, not others. So the Y and Z will be 0 and rotation X will change. I want to control the mechanical arm by left controller. So let's to add this parameter to the public game object or transform mechanical arm. Okay, only the copy in this part, but mechanical arm instead of transform. And also in here I have to change the horizontal to vertical and secondary to primary. Perfect. And after that I have to change the here and remove this one. So this parameter will be for parameter x and the y and z will be 0. Let's come back to the editor. Perfect. And add this mechanical arm to here. I want to add another camera to my UGV as well for better control the mechanical arm. And I call it arm camera. And I put this arm camera here as part of my arm, something like this. Okay, and in here I want to create another render texture and I say arm view 1024 1024 UGV arm view. Perfect. An arm view, and here UGV arm view, and finally add this UGV arm view here. Bravo. Once I rotate it, oh, another mistake is I have to add this arm camera as a child of mechanical arm. So it will be like this. Bravo. Okay. Now, how we can test it in the real condition? For testing my mechanical arm, I need to create a simple grabbable object. So I will put a simple box, for example, here. I want to use this material for this one. Perfect, it's this beautiful box. I call it box. Okay, and I change it to component physics rigid body is kinematic. Okay. Now we have to create a simple grabbing and releasing object for our mechanical arm. In here, we have to add a simple trigger. Call it arm trigger. Okay, and I'm putting it here. I expect that to be something like this. Okay, no need to have these meshes. Right, and I want to say a script, a new C# script. I don't know, UGV grab, UGV grab, yes. Okay, let's go to the Visual Studio to scripting this part and finish our UGV with several actions and behaviors. Perfect. Exactly the same method for grabbing an object. Here. If it is the name of them is equal box, okay, copy this part here, and released here. And we can copy this part as well. Copy touched for this part. Now, instead of the button A and button B of the right controller, because the controlling the mechanical arms was the duty of the left controller, so I want to say let's to keep it for button 3 X. Once we press hit the object, the box, and press button 3, we grab it, and once we press button 3 again, we release it. And the final part was here. Okay, let's test it in the editor, and if everything was fine, we can testing in our Oculus. It is our mechanical arm and arm trigger. We can imagine we came here. Oh, sorry, I didn't add this UGB grab system to this trigger. Now we can test. Perfect. Right, I touched. And once I press space, oh, arm trigger is parent of this. We need to change it. In fact, the box must be the child of arm trigger, not arm trigger child of box. So we have to make it reverse. Inter objects transform.parent equal transform. Exactly the opposite way. Let's come back to the editor and test it again. All right. Dear arm trigger, come here. Perfect. And we press space. Great. It works well. And I press again. It has been released. Perfect. Now we can test it in our Oculus headset by exporting a new APK of our scene. Okay, this is my UGB and this is my monitoring system, and that one was grabbable box. Okay, let's go at my dear UGB. Perfect. Turn left, turn right, backward, forward, and with my left controller up and down. Perfect. And we can see the heading and position system, and also the arm camera and front camera working well. Okay, go ahead. We want to grab this object. Okay, I press X and I grabbed. Bravo. Let's come here. Oh, it's me. Come here. I press X again. It has been released. Bravo. It works well. Let's go to the next step.